Good morning, brothers and sisters. We're in our third and final look at Psalm 30. We've been talking about the test of prosperity. Many of us will pass the test of adversity when hard times come, that we will trust in God no matter what. But many of us will also fail the test of prosperity. And so there are two verses in the center, like the hinge of this psalm. David lets us know why he's suffering, what he went through, what God was up to in his life, to show him his dependence again on God and to shake him free from his self-sufficiency. So these verses are verses 6 and 7. When I was prosperous, I said to myself, nothing can stop me now. Your favor, O Lord, had made me as secure as a mountain, but then you turned away from me and I was shattered. Today I want to just think about the indications that the experience of prosperity is tempting us to complacency and self-sufficiency, self-exaltation. How do we know if we're being seduced by prosperity or being humbled in the midst of prosperity? Here's a couple questions to ask. Am I neglecting my communion with God? Am I charging into the day saying, I got this, and no longer acknowledging my absolute dependence upon God for mercy and his empowering grace? Am I charging into something confident in my own abilities and resources? And am I beginning to flirt with sin instead of fleeing from it or fighting it? Am I nibbling at the bait of the hook, believing the lie that the gifts are better than the giver himself? Am I desensitized to the needs of those that are around me? Am I insular in my focus? Am I myopic in my priorities? Am I gathering and hoarding instead of sharing and serving? And maybe another question I need to ask, if I've forgotten to give God all the glory and God alone for my prosperity, what am I blessing, what I'm receiving? Is grace still amazing to me, or has the good news just become old news? Am I careless with my heart, or am I careful to guide my heart to remember these things? Am I passing the test of prosperity? Am I counting my blessings? Am I naming them one by one? Am I counting my blessings to see what God has done? Do I believe that each blessing is the undeserved favor of God in my life? Or in the reverse, you could say, do I realize that I'm always doing better than I deserve? There's two ways that we can pass the test of prosperity, and I believe we find them in verse 2 and 8 and 10. The first one, O Lord, I cried to you for help. You restored my health. I cried to you, verse 8, O Lord, I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will you gain if I die, if I sink into the depths? And number 10, hear, O Lord, have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. Prayer is the declaration of our complete dependence and his gracious disposition towards us. The Psalms, if anything, are a constant reminder to take everything to the Lord in prayer. Prayer changes things. It solves problems. It comforts. It frees. It empowers us because it acknowledges us, our connection with the Creator. And through prayer, by God's grace, you and I will pass the test of prosperity. And prayer should break forth into the second thing I want to just end with here is praise. Look at verse 11 and 12. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. When you've experienced forgiveness in God's presence, silence is not an option. It's our life opportunity to proclaim, lift up his name and rejoice. Weeping is temporary, but joy is our eternal destiny. We praise God, and we want to bring to light how great he is. We want to be thankful. Live a disciplined life of gratitude, saying thank you for the thousands of gifts that we receive every day that we often take for granted. What do you have that you did not receive? Paul reminds us in Corinthians. And if you did not receive it, why do you boast as though you had not? And I just want to leave you with this line. Thankfulness is the soil in which pride cannot grow. Oh Lord, may we be the alert and grateful observers of your presence and goodness with us, and learn to say thank you often. What happens when people cross our path? Do they leave with gratitude and the praise of God ringing in their ears, or grumbling and complaining of man? Brothers and sisters, let's pass the test of prosperity. Let's lift up our voices in praise. Last night in our youth group, we gathered together at the end of our lesson in one of Beal's corn cribs out there, and we sang a cappella, a song I just want to share with you. Let this ignite your heart to both pray and praise this morning. I'm a child of God, yes I am, in my Father there's a place for me. I'm a child